Back to the future in new CD1 for the Democrats. We're with Ben McAdams tonight.
More than 30,000 acres burning, and that fire expected to keep growing. The effort to battle the flames and evacuate people out of the canyon.
Live, streaming, and on the KUTV app. This is KUTV 2 News at 10.
We are following two big stories tonight. Primary election results are coming in across the state of Utah, and the Cottonwood Fire burning near Beaver exploding in size and drawing a massive response.
Just a couple hours ago, FEMA authorized the use of federal funds to help with the firefighting cost and efforts for the Cottonwood Fire. We do have team coverage for you tonight.
Natalie Wattis, Life Force in Beaver, with the very latest from the fire lines. Jamie McGriff on the live desk tracking those evacuations. And Chase Thomason is tracking the winds in that area for any relief we're looking for those firefighters. Now, the Cottonwood Fire has burned more than 31,000 acres since it started just yesterday afternoon. On average, it's 1,000 acres burned every hour for the first day.
Our Natalie Wattis has been covering the fire for us all afternoon and into tonight. She's joining us live in Beaver. So, Natalie, what is it looking like tonight?
Well, I can tell you there has been heavy smoke everywhere. We've seen large plumes of smoke blanketing the area. Beaver and active fire. If you take a look behind me, you can see the glow of the Cottonwood Fire over that whole ridge. And in some of these areas, you can see active flames where the fire is still going. And like you said, it's been explosive growth. I spoke with one person who actually helped people evacuate from the canyon yesterday.
We just moved here. I actually lived up on the mountain for the last 5 years.
Tanner Larson and his family have been living at the mouth of Beaver Canyon for the past month and a half. What's your reaction seeing the mountain you used to live on look like this?
We honestly are disappointed. It's a beautiful, beautiful drive, and this really will change it. It won't look the same for probably during our lifetimes. Larson
is on the volunteer fire department at Eagle Point Resort. He was on the mountain yesterday when the call came in.
It's a very small community. There's probably about less than 20 full-time residents on the mountain.
He says when they started evacuating people, the fire seemed far away.
We got everybody notified and evacuated. When I finally left the mountain about midnight last night, you could finally see the flames from the resort area, and that was kind of a wake-up call that, like, wow, they made the right call. I've never seen a fire travel this fast on this mountain.
Fire officials say the fire behavior today has been extreme.
We have pretty low RHs and dry fuels in there. Most things are dormant right now, so mixed conifer is catching and is very easily flammable.
In the area where the fire started are multiple campgrounds, summer homes, and property.
I know that fire crews on the ground are not able to get in there just because of the fire behavior right now. This fire kind of has a mind of its own, so there's no saying what it's going to do.
Fire crews attacking the fire by air and on the ground, but it's still not contained at all.
We're very thankful for all the outside support.
And we've seen evidence of that support, of crews going back and forth continuously to this fire all day long, helicopters going back and forth to drop water. And I want to just give you a look one more time at what we're seeing here tonight, because this is just astonishing. You've got the whole ridgeline on fire. You can't see it right now, but the smoke is so heavy and it is so thick throughout the town of Beaver, and we have just seen this fire come closer to us. And again, we've seen crews all day long attacking this, trying to get it under control, trying to do what they can to fight it and take care of this blaze. But we'll continue to update you as we learn more about this fire and its acreage and what's being done to put it out. But for now, reporting live in Beaver, Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News.
Exciting stuff for the Jazz. Thanks, Dave. Checking back in on the Cottonwood Fire, which is burning in Beaver Canyon. At the last update, it was mapped at over 31,000 acres and not contained at all tonight.
This is a monster fire. Natalie Wattis is live from the mouth of the canyon. Natalie, we can still see those flames behind you. I'm sure a lot of families are going to have a long night ahead of them.
Right. I mean, even as we're standing here, people have been coming out who live nearby in the town of Beaver, just watching the fire and waiting to see what it'll do. And we've been seeing active flames erupting on this mountainside. I'll step out of the way so you can get a little bit better of a look of what we're seeing. Hopefully it's showing up on camera, but there is a glow there. The fire seems to be just on the other side of that ridge line, and the smoke where we're standing is thick. We're on Highway 153, and it's been blanketing all of Beaver. Now we know crews are attacking this from the ground and from the air. We've been seeing helicopters flying back and forth continuously all afternoon to drop water, and crews driving up to fight those flames. But officials say fire behavior has been extreme today, and there's no telling what the fire will do tonight. Reporting live from Beaver, Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News. Back to you in the studio.
All right, so Natalie, we know you spoke with someone in the town of Beaver who actually helped with some evacuations. What did they tell you?
That's right, Tanner Larson. He was actually up on the mountain there. He's a volunteer firefighter with the department at the resort, and he said at first he saw the flames. They looked really far off, and once they finished evacuating everyone around midnight, he said the fire came up fast, and he's never seen anything like it.
All right, Natalie, we're going to be watching this very carefully, as are those homeowners, cabin owners, and people who vacation there. Fire crews are working around the clock to fight the massive Cottonwood Fire. It's now burned close to 69,000 acres.
A live look from a UDOT camera in Beaver tonight. Natalie Wattis has been covering this fire for us and has a look at current conditions.
You can see the eastern side of the Cottonwood Fire here behind me with heavy smoke and still small pop-ups of active flames. But it was extremely smoky earlier today, especially between Junction and Marysvale on Highway 89. So much so you couldn't even see the ridgeline from the highway. It thinned out when you got to Marysvale, but one woman in town told me she had ash all over her front porch and even in her garage.
So far we're only affected by smoke, and the fire, I don't think, really has any danger of coming to Marysvale, but the smoke is affecting people and their desire to come and ride the trails. So it's funny, wherever the fire is, that's always the people's favorite trail to ride.
Others in the area tell me they're nervous, waiting to see if they'll have to evacuate as this fire moves. Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News.
Meteorologist Chase Thomason monitoring those winds for us and air quality. David Ochoa in Santaquin, where a town meeting on the Iron Fire is about to get underway. Natalie Wattis is first, though, live from the eastern side of the Cottonwood Fire. Natalie, what's the very latest?
It's been a very smoky day here on the eastern edge of the fire, which you can see behind me. You could barely see through it, but now you can see the fire is still going strong, but the smoke has definitely died down. I spoke with a woman in Marysvale and another in Circleville, both of whom work at RV parks. And they both told me this fire has caused customers to leave because of the smoke and fears about the fire. But one of them tells me the community is coming together to make sure everyone is okay if it comes to evacuation.
Well, I seen people go to other people that just to make sure they have a ride out of here if they need one. We don't want to forget about them, and people that offer to pack stuff up and what do we need to do. You can see a small town get together when there's a need for something. You know, there might be other bickering sometimes, but when it comes down to it, you know, you can depend on each other, and I think that's really important right here.
Fire officials say the fire is fanning east towards where we are, and fire crews are working 24/7 to try to get this blaze under control. Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News.
And we have a live look for you, nearby UDOT camera of the Cottonwood Fire. Crews working around the clock in shifts, trying to establish 24-hour wildfire coverage as the Cottonwood Fire burns near the towns of Beaver and Circleville.
Natalie Wattis has been covering the fire for us all day long and brings us the very latest from Circleville.
On the eastern side of this fire, the smoke has been extremely heavy to the point where it obscured the ridgeline. But you can see behind me right now, it has thinned out some, but the fire is still going strong.
Makes me a little nervous, but last night was worse because you can see the flames and stuff, but you know, looking around and stuff, I'm nervous, but I am convinced we have a good system, so if we have to evacuate, I think somehow they let us know. They have ever since now. I do know, however, that the firefighters been fighting this fire, and I'm hoping it will avoid Circleville.
Officials have confirmed structures have been lost, but they don't know the extent yet. Reporting in Paiute County, Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News.
Okay, Utah is now home to the largest active wildfire in the country. The Cottonwood Fire in south central Utah has burned more than 70,000 acres, including the Eagle Point Ski Resort.
Yeah, there are mandatory evacuations in place as crews battle what's also being called the most destructive fire in state history. We have Natalie Wattis joining us live from the Iron Fire with the latest on how things are going.
Well, good afternoon. Yeah, you can see the Cottonwood Fire behind me here, still extremely active, has never stopped being active since we came down here on Tuesday. You can see those large plumes of smoke. Fire officials say fire crews had some trouble yesterday with winds from passing storms and limited visibility from heavy smoke, preventing helicopters from fighting this fire from the air in the afternoon. Now today, crews are working towards the North Creek area on the western flank. That's what we're looking at right now, with direct extinguishment tactics if conditions allow for that. To the eastern side, that's where the towns of Circleville, Junction, Marysvale are. To the east, crews will be building fire line from Highway 153 to the Little Twist burn scar. Hand crews will continue to prep structures in the Cottonwood Creek area. And a community meeting is expected tonight at 7, and 2 News will be there to bring you updates from that. Reporting live from the Cottonwood Fire, Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News.
Now to the Cottonwood Fire that's burning near Beaver, one of the most destructive fires in state history. Also being called in the #1 fire in the U.S. in a news conference this afternoon. The governor said that as well. Our Natalie Wattis has been covering this fire for us all week long. She's joining us live now from Beaver. So Natalie, what do things look like out there?
Well, good afternoon, Jim, Jamie. We've been watching the western flank of the fire here behind me, and it has been very active all day. You can probably see it with my hair and the wind, hopefully not too bad on the microphone, that it has been extremely windy, and we've been seeing a lot of smoke plumes and fire activity on this ridge line. We've been seeing those flames engulfing large sections in a matter of seconds, and smoke is settling in the canyons nearby. Now, fire crews, we're told, are working the eastern and western flanks, laying fire lines and doing structure protection work. Meanwhile, the mayor of Beaver tells me the community is still just trying to wrap their heads around how this happened so fast.
The governor mentioned that yesterday, that this was, from a cost standpoint, could be the costliest or most destructive wildfire in state history. Wow. All I know is from 3:30 Monday afternoon until, say, 3:30 yesterday, it was like end of days type of stuff.
We have seen lightning and some small storms have rolled through today as well. Reporting live in Beaver, Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News. Back to you in the studio.
Natalie, did fire officials happen to tell you today how crews are doing some of that structure protections?
Yes, so they told me it's a very involved process. They're doing everything from raking to cutting down trees to create that defensible space around homes, to putting sprinklers on roofs, and even wrapping some homes in what is essentially aluminum foil to protect it from the flames.
All right, and then any word on when we will know more about how many structures were damaged by this fire?
That is the hot topic of the day. Unfortunately, we don't have any new information on that just yet, but I was told that a structure assessment team was put in place today, so we're hoping for more information from them as they see the extent of the damage and are able to tell us more about the scope.
All right, yeah, a lot of terrain for them to go through. Natalie Wattis, thank you very much for that reporting there.
The Cottonwood Fire has burned nearly 71,000 acres around Beaver Canyon. The governor now calling it possibly the most destructive wildfire in state history.
Natalie Wattis has been on the ground for us reporting on this fire all week. She joins us live from Beaver. Natalie, what are conditions like right now?
Yeah, good evening, Brian. We've been watching the western flank of this fire all day today. It has been extremely active. You can see even right now some large plumes are still going strong there. And we were also expecting wind gusts between 25 and 35 miles per hour from thunderstorms rolling through.
I saw the first plumes of smoke just coming out of the Beaver Canyon. I looked at my son and said, oh no. But at that point in time, of course, none of us in our wildest dreams, we always knew this would be a possibility, but none of us really thought that it would be like this.
Beaver Mayor Matt Robinson tells me community members are trying to make sense of how this fire could grow so fast.
Still trying to quantify and understand what that means as far as property loss goes. My wife and I are both originally from here, our families are from here for generations, and that mountain is sacred ground for us, and to see it go up in smoke is really emotional.
I asked fire officials, where is most of the growth of the fire happening?
So most of the growth is on that east side. It is kind of going towards the Marysville, Circleville area.
The plan of attack for Thursday is structure protection operations on the east side of the fire and building fire lines all around. And when you say fire crews are working on structure protection, what does that mean?
So when we do structure protection, we go into these areas and we kind of assess what needs done.
That includes raking, cutting down trees to make defensible space, putting sprinklers on roofs, and wrapping buildings in foil.
They are trying their absolute hardest to prevent any further fire spread and any further damage.
The mayor trying to stay positive in the unknown.
Not all is lost. It will be beautiful again, but how will that look and what impact will that have on our community? I don't know.
There will be an informational meeting tonight, but fire officials say they will not have any information about structures lost or damaged yet. Now, a structure assessment team was put in place today to go in there and see what the extent and scope of the damage is. Reporting live in Beaver, Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. During your forecast, we've been listening to the rumble of thunder around us as we're live here in Eureka tonight. We're also keeping a close eye on the Cottonwood Fire. That one has burned 71,000 acres. It's at 0% containment. The communities around Beaver have a lot of questions about what has been lost, what still exists out there. Natalie Wattis is near the fire line tonight with the very latest from the Cottonwood Fire.
The governor is now calling this fire the #1 fire in the country and possibly the most destructive in state history. If you take a look behind me, you can see the western flank of this fire, which has been very active today. The name of the game for fire crews today is structure protection. Officials tell me they are raking, cutting down trees to create defensible space, putting sprinklers on roofs, and even wrapping buildings in foil. Crews are also building fire lines all around the fire to try to stop the spread. Winds between 25 to 35 miles per hour were expected today, coming off thunderstorms rolling through, and we did experience sporadic rain and see lightning along the ridgeline. While fire crews work tirelessly around the clock in 24/7 shifts, people in the town of Beaver are left wondering what this will mean for them in the short and long term.
The immediate threat and danger and destruction of the fire is sort of preeminent right now in all of our minds, but there are other layers to this. We spent most of the day at Beaver City yesterday talking about flood mitigation for what is being presented to us as some, possibly significant monsoon rains that are headed our way. On top of that, you start to think down the road and just how much impact our beautiful Beaver Mountain has on our community, not only emotionally as a place in our hearts, but for our businesses. I don't really know how to quantify that yet, but yeah, that's going to be something that we're going to have to face.
So far, still no word on how many structures have been impacted. I'm told a structural assessment team has been put in place today. Reporting in Beaver, Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News.
All right, the Cottonwood Fire, the largest in the state, and according to Governor Cox, the #1 wildfire priority in all of the country. It's burned about 71,000 acres. People in the town of Beaver left wondering what might be left when it's all over.
Natalie Wattis has been covering this fire for us all week long and brings us more tonight.
Fire officials tell me the growth of this fire has been primarily to the east towards Circleville and Junction. And you can see behind me right now the western flank of this fire has been very active all day with large smoke plumes and quickly spreading flames. Fire crews are focused on creating fire line on all sides of the fire and doing structure protection on the eastern side of the fire. Doing everything from cutting down trees to putting sprinklers on roofs and even wrapping some buildings in foil. Winds are expected to increase, and we did see some sporadic rain and lightning on the ridge.
I was just leaving my office Monday afternoon at 3:30. So what is that? Just short of 3 days ago, and I saw the first plumes of smoke just coming out of the Beaver Canyon. I looked at my son and said, "Oh no!" But at that point in time, of course, none of us, in our wildest dreams, we always knew this would be a possibility, but none of us really thought that it would be like this.
The mayor says not only are they worried about loss of property in the mountain, but also the floods that may come after and the possible hit to Beaver's tourism industry in the aftermath of the blaze.
From 3:30 Monday afternoon until, say, 3:30 yesterday, it was like end of days type of stuff. But, you know, we have good partners, and the people who live here are the best that I know, and we'll be okay. We're gonna keep moving forward.
A structural assessment team was put in place today, but as of now, we have no new information on the extent or scope of the damage. Reporting in Beaver, Natalie Wattis, KUTV 2 News.
A lot of people worried about how extensive